Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. We're back from NYC. And we've got a video. Yay! So I hope y'all didn't miss me too much. How was everybody's week? Excellent, that's really, really good to hear. And for those who might have thought I was being really, really rude to Kyle, he told me prior to my last video that he always answers with, "Oh, it's terrible," so that when I say, "Well, that's really good to hear," it makes him laugh. So don't think I was being a jerk, because I really wasn't. Alright, I'm drinking out of a Wisconsin mug today, because one of my coworkers went to Wisconsin and brought me back a mug. Alright, so I'll talk a little bit about the New York trip, because I know everyone kind of wants to hear. I've got some haul. Some haul I actually didn't think was actually going to make it for this video, so that's actually kind of impressive. And I've got some whip updates, of course. So I guess without further ado, we will get into the trip. Okay, so we ran into a slight problem. The airline lost our luggage. We did not get it back until Friday at 11:30 in the morning, after we were already home. So we had to buy all new clothes while we were there, so that actually cut into our time some. So we didn't get to do a couple of things that I would have really liked to have done, but that's okay, because it's New York, they'll be there when we go back. We did several big things. We did the 9/11 Museum, which I highly recommend if you're in the city that you go. It's very well put together. It reminded me a lot of the Oklahoma Bombing Museum, but on a bigger scale. We did the Statue of Liberty, which was fun. I got to pretend to be Rose from Titanic at the end and look up at it and go, "Dawson, Rose Dawson," which I've wanted to do since 1997. Yeah, it only took me 21 years. God, that was 21 years ago. Oh, boy. Okay, now I feel old. Whew. Okay. Alright. We saw, of course, we did see shows. I realized, because I saw a lot of people commenting, "Oh, you need to see a show," that, a lot of you probably don't know, I was a theater major for a couple of years. I did theater all through high school. I took multiple trips to New York during college just for shows. So there was no way we weren't going to. So we saw Wicked. This was my fourth time seeing it. It was his first. It was his first time for all of this. I had seen this, and I'd seen one of the other ones before, but, so it was my fourth time seeing Wicked, and the current cast is fantastic. We saw the off-Broadway Sweeney Todd, which was remarkably amazing. Like, until the show we saw our final night, this would have been the best thing we saw all week. And if you're in New York or you're near New York and you haven't seen it, go see it. If you have seen it and you haven't seen it with this current cast, go see it. Tom Sesma's Sweeney is very Tim Curry-esque, which is very delightful. And Sally Ann Triplett is hysterical as Mrs. Lovett. But it was a brilliantly designed production. They converted the theater into an actual pie shop. So there were actual tables you could sit at. We were seated at a counter, and the cast moves in and around you. And it was brilliant. It was easily in the top 5 things I've ever seen in my entire life. We saw Avenue Q, which I actually had not seen yet, but I knew very well, and he hadn't seen, and I enjoyed it. We both enjoyed it. We didn't see anything we didn't enjoy. But Avenue Q was a hoot. We used Today Tix for that, and had very good seats for like $75. So, I recommend Avenue Q. We saw Phantom of the Opera, which I had seen, he had not. And it was good. It's still in great shape, 30 years on. So, which is really weird to think that it's 30 years old now. At least on Broadway. I think it's the same age I am, actually, because it opened in London in '86. But it was quite good. We had a very good Phantom, very good Christine. But then the piece de resistance also through Today Ticks, we saw Bette Midler and Hello Dolly. And it was seriously the greatest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. She got a standing ovation midway through the show. It was brilliant. And we saw it the same day that we did the 9/11 Museum, which made it better because we wanted something very happy to begin with. And I sat there with tears in the corners of my eyes because it was just so wonderful and joyful. It was like eating a big cupcake with pink frosting and sprinkles and a cherry on top. And the cherry was Bette Midler. And it was amazing. So if you can get tickets to go see it, go see it. Totally worth it. So, there we go. So the trip overall, it was a very good trip. We had a good time. We got to see a lot of things. I only got us on the wrong subway once. I didn't get to see Britney. Our schedules just didn't really line up for it, which made me sad. But it was a really, really good week, minus the whole having to buy new clothes and then a new suitcase. So, would have been nice if we could have done a few other things other than shop, but Century 21 is a really awesome store, and I also recommend that one. So, yeah, so that was New York. Alright, so we'll get into the Q&A. I don't know how much we've got, to look at. Donna J. Caps, when you get to this point, you're going to maybe recant that how much I look like your son before he grew out his hair. I don't know if I look like him now with my hair grown out. But welcome. I know 2 days ago she just started watching my first video, so she's going to be a while getting here. But hello when you do. Ivy Kruger asks, on Seaside Kingdom, are you making any changes to the two little kids in the front? No, I'm not. I'm actually, this one's just, I think I have one, I say that. There's an unintentional change in the boy's hat. But I caught it early enough that I was able to correct it so it didn't affect anything. But some of the white is a little bit, there's a little more, like 2 squares more white than there were supposed to be. Cheryl McKinney asks if I can show the chart picture for your whips so we can see where you are and where you're going. I try to do that for the most part, but on my digital patterns, I don't have a way to, I don't edit my videos, and I've tried in the past where I use my iPad to try and show it, and it's just too tricky. So if I have the physical pattern itself, I'm more than happy to show where I'm at and where I'm going, but if it's a digital pattern, there's not really a good way of doing that. Stitching and Sound Good Old Kyle, says, am I going to do the skin 1/1 on Seaside Kingdom? And the answer is, hell no. I have mad respect for anyone who does skin 1/1. Personally, I don't enjoy that enough to do it for big sections. I enjoy it so little that it's really, other than what little I've had to do on Longfellow, I really don't like doing the over 1 unless I just absolutely have no other choice. And I also sometimes feel like the over 1, that the, train of thought slipped, that, I sometimes feel like it gets a little pixelaty with the color. I feel like it's smoother when it's the 2/2. But that's just me. So I, no. No. And I think that is it for the questions this time. Oh, and Joanne P., I like the suggestion of the pride flag, but I think shading-wise that would just end up causing me troubles. So, yeah. Ba-da-dump. Okay, let's get into the haul. So, let's see, we'll organize this as best we can. Aha, there it is. Okay. There's actually going to be an unboxing in this one. Okay, so first I got a very lovely gift from, I'm actually not sure what your floss tube handle is, but it was from Jen Umpton. She had some books she was getting rid of, so she sent them to me and threw in some stitchy supplies. So she sent me 2 skeins of Threadworks, this beautiful blue and white variegated, and this beautiful, sort of an autumn leaf color. It's got oranges and yellows and greens and reds and browns. So those are gorgeous. She sent me this super cool needle minder that's a guitar pick. How awesome is that? And it says Java, because Coffee Stitcher. And then it had, and I really like this, and I know there's apparently some people out there who started doing it. The back magnet has a little sparkly doodad, like a button of sorts. So there's that. And then she also sent me this beautiful, it's a fat quarter of Cashel is 32 count cornflower from Sugar Maple Fabrics, which I know is out of business now. And it's beautiful. It's called Cornflower. It's a light blue, and it's just stunning. So I'm super excited because I've always wanted some of the Sugar Maples fabric, but obviously I came onto the scene after they'd closed, so I only get it if it's in, well, this is my first piece, so I got gifted it, but unless it shows up like on a stash unload and I've got the cash, I won't be getting one, so. So that was really awesome of her, so thank you, Jen. I really, really, really appreciate it. Alright, then I got a special order from Mad for Minders. And of course I got my usual, she always sends me an extra. So, they're 2 Bobbsey Twin books. It's the Bobbsey Twins Camping Out and the Bobbsey Twins Treasure Hunting. And this one's actually about to get used. And then a Scarecrow Fairy, which I think is a Jasmine Beckett Griffith. I think that's her name. I think that's who designed that one. So, about Minders. Alright. Then, while we were in New York, I've got some part that's you're not going to get to see until I get it back from Kate, and this one you're getting to see before it goes to Kate. They have pins. So, I got this pin, and I owe this to Carmen, who I think is Broadway Stitching. She just started doing FlossTube, but she's on Instagram. She was doing this, so that's how I found out about it. So, the stack of the book rack pin, which I'm going to have Kate turn into a minder, to go with the cross-stitch kit. So, I'm going to go ahead and do an unboxing of it. It says it comes with the hoop, the pattern, your Aida, 2 needles, floss, batting for framing, felt for backing, and hand-drawn instructions specific to their kits. So, oh, it looks like there's not going to be a way to do this without cutting it. I don't have any scissors in here. Oh, there we go. Or I could just break it. That works too. So, oh, that's actually very nicely packaged. It was a little more expensive than I wanted to pay. It was $25, but that's okay. So here is the hoop. It was designed by Junebug and Darlin. So there's their card. The instructions, which is just basically how you cross stitch, and then how to finish it, which I already know how to do that part. The floss, which she'd said were really tiny lengths, and I can see that. But this is really cool. It's printed on an old book card, like when you used to go to the library before the digital age, and they would stamp them. So that's actually really cool. Notes on how to backstitch. the needles, some very stiff Aida, the felt, the batting, and the chart. I'll hold it back here. So it's everything you need. And it looks like it's a nice little kit. So I will, this actually I think will become my new lunchtime project. For a little while at least. Okay. Now I see why I was not supposed to open it like that. Let's seal that back down. And pull this apart. Like I was supposed to do from the beginning. There we go. Put that all back in there. So far, I rate this kit a 10 out of a 10. They had a lot of other options besides just this that were, for lack of a better phrase, more like liberal buzzwords, things like queen or queer as fuck, pardon my language, which they were nice kits, but they weren't anything I would stitch or hang up, where this actually would get done. So, and then, let's see, I'll also show you these because they were super cute. I found some really cute stickers at the Strand, too, that are Wizard of Oz. And that's just a general fairy tale Disney. So, but it only had one Dorothy, but it's got 2 Scarecrow, Tin Mans, and Lions. So, at least I think there's only one Dorothy. I only see one. But I thought it was super cute. So, so then yesterday I went to Stitch Niche, because I had some things to pick up that I had paid for, or that I'd requested, and it was a stitch-in. So I got from the lovely Vanessa, I got the other 3 felt Scooby-Doo minders, so Velma, Daphne, and Fred. And then she also gave me this really cute Wizard of Oz one that reminded me of the stickers. And then I had... Originally, I thought I had more of the beads for Seaside Kingdom than I do, so I had to get the embellishment pack. And then... then I'd also had them get Fairy Moon for me. So there's Fairy Moon. And then, Shannon got me as a gift Shakespeare's Fairies. So, they're super pretty. So, that was the haul. Alright, so... what did I work on? Well, I took with me on the plane Red's Treehouse. So, here's the full design, as y'all remember. And I had to restart the house because I goofed it up when I started it, and so that was fun. So here is where I'd already had the house itself done, and I had started the tree branch at lunch. So I actually finished the tree branch on the flight out, and I did the leaves on the flight back. So we've just got the squirrel, and then the fill-in on the house, and some acorns, and then it'll be done. So that's where I'm at. So I actually made really good progress, and I was very pleased I was able to stitch on the plane. So I did that, and then I came back and promptly went back to work on Seaside Kingdom. Now, I did actually get Seaside Kingdom, the top half, done before we left. And since I don't have the pattern in here, I'll use this to kind of show you. So, I had the castle complete, the water and the water. I don't have this tower here by the girl because it's mostly bead with some Krennic and then a little bit of DMC. But I was worried counting-wise that I would get off if I tried to do it without her there. So the one last tower will go in after I finish, or get her started. Because, yeah, I didn't want to screw that up. So I got all of the castle done and started. So all that was left is the 2 kids and the border along the bottom. So here is where I'm at now. Ta-da! So that's kind of the far away shot. I did accidentally get pin on the side that the girl's on, but fortunately I can cover it with beads. And now I'll zoom in a little closer. This is the one, actually, that the Bobbsey Twin treasure gathering is going to go on. Because I'm starting to feel a little weird about having a Michael Jackson one. So I got the boy's hat, head, and one arm and part of his back done yesterday. So I should finish up the little boy today. Actually, and this is going to go to work for a couple of days because I'm going to work on the border during my lunches. So hopefully I'll get the little boy done today, though. I don't think it'll be too difficult. Yeah. So we're just going to keep on a-going until this one's done. So, which probably will be sometime. I at least will have the stitching done, I think, this week. There's a chance we're going out of town next weekend, so there's a chance there may not be a video next week. Don't be alarmed. I probably won't know until closer to the end of the week. So if we go out of town, then the beads will not be going with, and that'll be done after I get back. So, yeah. So that's kind of it for me this week. I hope everyone has a great week. If I'm not here next week, have a good 2 weeks. If I'm here next week, then I'll see you next week. Don't forget, drop me some Q&A, because I do love that stuff. And I will see you next time.